Hello, welcome to Bloodhammer. I'm Dan.
And I'm Dean.
And you join us standing for once.
You do. You get to see our legs. We actually possess legs today.
We do. They're beautiful.
Don't get too excited.
No. So, we've been away for a little bit.
Yes.
Christmas, lots of other things happening. We wanted to kind of finish what we've been doing recently, which is kind of introducing new people into Warhammer. You may notice the table is bare today. We wanted to basically talk you through how you actually play a game. Now, I will stress before we start, we don't play the game properly.
We follow the heart of the rules,
yeah.
But we're not strict like you'll get at tournaments and like you'll get die-hard players. We play for fun. Yeah,
we're not teaching you how to tournament play here. At the end of the day, if you've watched our videos, if you're a loyal subscriber,
which thank you if you are.
Yes, thank you. Then you'll know that we play the game for fun. It's not about taking it too seriously. It's toy soldiers. It's fun. So we're going to show you how to set up the table, how to deploy your troops, and go through kind of the first two rounds of the game, so you get a bit of a flavour on how to play it. Now, you might notice the little dice row that we've got here on the side at the moment. That is because these tables where we play at the lovely Shrewsbury War Game Society, they're too big.
Yes. So we found out by pure chance, lengthwise, they're about 10 inches too long.
Yes, they are about 1 or 2 inches too wide as well, but
we're not splitting hairs on
that doesn't make much difference, but that's why we've got the line there, just so you can see. But we're just going to go through everything really, how you get set up, how you get started. Yeah. Like I said, don't take this as gospel for how they play in the tournaments and things like that, because we don't.
Well, by the time if you went to a tournament, by the time you get there, the table will already be set out. This is how we do it. This is how you might find a lot of clubs. We're going to go through the cards, the deployment of the terrains, the setting up of the objectives, deploying your armies, like Dan said, first turn, maybe push into second turn, depending on what gets covered in first turn. We might break a few rules and go, that was actually a 20-inch move, just to show we can show you a charge or a deep strike, but who knows, let's see what happens. So, now we have the table somewhat prepared. Using the chapter approved 25-26 mission deck, first thing you need to look at are your deployment cards. So when we play, what we usually do, a bit like a deck of cards, flip them over and get someone to choose them. The reason you do this first is because depending which card you select will depend on which way the game's going to play. Our personal favourite has always been, similar to the game, Dawn of War, and for this video, this is the setup we're going to be using. So once you've selected your deployment card, first thing you'll look at is setting out your objectives. So on each of your deployment cards, it clearly states to you where each of your objectives are going. These are the little skull markers. So red and green within 12 inches are your deployment zones, and the measurements with the skull markers are your objectives. So we use these objectives, which I purchased from Warhammer Fest just as I started getting back into it. You can get them off Etsy, eBay, and probably even Amazon. The packs that you can buy have little objective cards in, objective markers, sorry, but we prefer using these ones. So I always like to start off with middle for diddle, middle of the desk. So using your trusty tape measure, take your table measurement, which will be 60 inches, take your 30, rough as you please for the time being, is there. And then similar again, take the length, so we're 48, so we want 22, we don't want 24, shows how good my maths is today. And there's central objective. And then after that, you start working your way down, so we're going to go in line with central, 8 inches, first deployment zone, 8 inches, second deployment zone, and then refer back to your cards then if you're unsure. So table edge in 14 for the next one, and similar again, table edge in 14 for the third. So there are your objective markers ready for your terrain deployments.
So we've set the table up. We've set all the terrain up. To be fair, this is probably better than we set the terrain up when we actually play. But as you can see here, we've got the dice line that shows the length of the table. Like we said, it's a bit longer in here. Then we've set up 2 other lines of dice. Red dice for Dean, the kind of blue and green dice for me. That is the 12-inch deployment zone. So we've got all of our armies laid out. Luckily here nicely at Shrewsbury War Game Society, they've got these little tables where you can actually put out your army, so it's nice and neat, so you can quickly just transfer it to the table. We've got buildings on top of the objectives. Now, the way that we play is these mats are 3 inches, and in the rules, I believe, you have to be within 3 inches of an objective to claim it. These are 3 inches, so as long as you've got a model on there, you've claimed it. So we've set it all up. Now kind of you get to the deployment phase. So what you want to do with whoever you're playing with is you typically roll off to see who's going to deploy first. And to be honest with you, it can change the game a little bit depending on who's deploying first, but typically it doesn't really for us. But we like to go for a bit of a mix of destroyed buildings. We'd always like putting something big in the centre to capture. We're lucky here that a lot of these boxes that you see around, they're just filled with terrain. It's actually cracking, because I know you don't get this at every place that you go to. So there's a lot of guys here that don't just play 40k, they play Age of Sigmar, they do World War II battles and things like that. So having all of this is really, really handy. But now you've got it set up, your objective markers are on, you know where your deployment zone is, now you get into actually deploying the army.
Now we have the buildings all set up and our troops out ready for deployment. We're going to roll off to see who's going to go first between myself and Dan. So I challenge you to a 5, sir.
5 as well.
So now you roll again. Someone has to win. 6 to beat. 4. So that means Space Wolves go first. Now we know that the Vilka Fenrica have 1 deployment. First unit down for me is going to be my intercessors, simply because sticky objectives. So whenever you're deploying, you want to think about where you're placing your models, thinking of line of sight, terrain, thinking of if you want to put them in a building. I'm going to leave these nice and open to start with. So now we've completed our initial deployment, I'm going to quickly tell you about my army. So left on the table I've got 3 units. I have 5 Wolfguard Terminators led by Logan Grimnar himself. These are in Deep Strike. The second squad of 5 led by Arjak Rockfist himself. And I've then got 10 Blood Claws. Now these are not in Deep Strike. You'll see sitting proudly on Land Raider over here is Ragnar Blackmane himself. So Ragnar and his Blood Claws are within the Lamb Raider and are going to charge up the table and hopefully dice up some Blood Angel's flesh. How Deep Strike works, in case you're not aware, is from turn 2 onwards, you can deploy Deep Strike within 9 inches of an enemy unit. Space Wolves are lucky that I have an ability where I could do it from turn 1 if I wanted to. I haven't the stones to try it yet, but it could be fun. So we'll see what happens.
So similar to Dean, I also have got 2 units in Deep Strike. I will say I don't actually know if I've got 2,000 points on the table at the moment, but I usually have a little bit more than this. So I've got my jump pack intercessors, they're in there. If you're wondering why they're Primaris with firstborn jump packs, I bought them on eBay with firstborn jump packs because they look better. And then I've got my Terminators in Deep Strike as well. So both of those, same thing. I can drop them in anywhere. Obviously I don't have the ability, so it'll be from turn 2. And then I have set up a pretty sturdy back line. I do run a little bit more vehicles, even though the bikes aren't counted as vehicles. And similarly to Dean, I've got 5 intercessors in my impulsor. So I typically try and play that where I will try and rush to the centre and then deploy the intercessors. Intercessors have a really cool thing Dean mentioned just a second ago, sticky objective. If they sit on an objective for 1 turn, they can leave that objective and it's still claimed as theirs. Super effective. These have become one of the best.
So now that armies are all down on the table, we're going to roll off to see who goes first. Now, one quick point to add is you'll notice with your cards you have attacker and defender cards. They make no difference whatsoever who plays what. Myself and Dan, we usually go, I play as attacker, being Space Wolves. Space Wolves are normally very much in your face. You could argue Blood Angels are as well, but Dan plays more of a defensive style with Blood Angels. But the cards, honestly, it doesn't matter who's what. So the first thing we're going to do is roll off to see who goes first. Dan needing to be the 5. So now we've decided, done the roll off, and we know that the Space Wolves are going first. You will find your game is always broken down into the same segments. You will have your command phase, your movement phase, shooting phase, charge phase where applicable, and combat phases where applicable. So your start of your turn will always be your command phase. So we are playing on tactical cards, so I'm going to draw 2 cards from my deck, flip them over, assassination, and bring it down. So these are what we usually play when we're playing fixed objectives. If you're unsure of the difference between fixed objectives and tactical objectives, please refer back to a previous video we've done on this. The link will be in the comments below. So now that I've done that, we are now going to move over to the movement phase. So each one of your units will have a designated move distance. You can find this in your codex, in your data cards, in your app, whichever one you do. Space Wolves are a bit unique in the fact that though they are Space Marines, a lot of their units have a 1-inch move greater. So my standard move for most of my Space Wolf dedicated models are 7 inches instead of 6 inches. So I'm going to move all of my units to begin with, just getting them up the board. So you've got to think as you're doing your movement, where are you moving your models, what is around you, where your terrain is, what is your objective, what's the purpose, everything like that. You know, not because there's not already enough to think about when playing a game of Warhammer. Now, some units have the ability as well to advance, which is what I'm going to do with these lovely, lovely Wolf Intercessors, because they have assault on their bolt rifle, which allows me to move and advance and still shoot. So a quick advance roll, 1d6, 3 inches. I'm going to quickly push these up another 3 inches, not quite on the objective, which is unfortunate. They obviously didn't have enough to eat this morning. So my Lamb Raider is going to move. Now, if we're playing the rules properly, you could probably say, can't drive through that ruin. Like I said, we play for fun. It's a big ass tank. It's going to crunch things as it drives through it. So he is going to move and plonk himself there. You know, it's not like there's anything that Dan's going to do to hurt it. Las cannons. And my cavalry will quickly run up. And then my last movement is going to be my Lancer on my wing here, to come out, because his twin brother's over there and they want to have a little play together. So now my movement phase is complete. Now on to the second part, which is my shooting phase. So for this one, I'm going to start off with my very wolfed up Lamb Raider here, which Ragnar Blackmane is very kindly sitting upon. So I'm going to split the fire here of my vehicle. Now you can split the fire on your vehicles and even on your squads, as long as you declare all of your weaponry at once. You can't just say, I'm going to shoot this one. Do you know what? I didn't quite kill it. I'm now going to shoot it with this. You've got to declare it all at once. So for this, I have got Godhammer las cannons. They are going to go into Dan's Lancer. The rest of my weapons, being my multi-melter, storm bolter, and twin heavy bolter, are going to go up into the Devastator squad there, because las cannons plus tank equals OW. The only weapon I won't be shooting with is my Hunter Killer Missile, and that's because if I don't finish off the Lancer if I do finish Lancer off straight away, I wouldn't mind that Hunter Killer to pop at either the Lancer or the Impulsor in the next round. So starting off with my Godhammer las cannons into the Lancer, so I have two las cannons, so it's 4 shots. So I hit on 2s, so 6, 6, 5, 3, so that's 4 even direct hits. My gun is strength 12, while the toughness of your Lancer is 10. That means I will need 3s to wound you. So 1 fail, 3 hits, so that is 3 at AP minus 3, please Dan.
So my saving throw for the Lancer is 3, so 3 plus 3, 6. I've got to get 3 6s, otherwise I'm taking some major damage early on in the game. I got one, so 2 have gone through, 1 has failed. What is the damage, sir?
So the damage is d6 plus 1. Now what that obviously means is my 2 dice, so that is 8 damage straight through onto your Lancer. So that's resolved. So moving on to my Storm Bolter, which is going to shoot 2 shots into the Devastator squads, hitting on 3s. So only the 1 hit. Strength 4, toughness is 4. 4. So only 4s. So no wound on that one. I've then got a twin heavy bolter. Now this has sustained hits 1, so if I get a 6, which I don't, it would have given me an extra attack. But I needed 3, so 3 hits. Strength 5, toughness 4, so 3s. I was hoping for a fail there because it was twin linked, but I've got 3 at AP -1 to damage, but you are in cover, so there's no AP, so it's just your standard 3-up armor save.
3-up armor. And all 3 go through, which is
and
typical
it's
for me.
2 damage each, so that's 3 guys that are dead.
So we've done our rolls. Dean has obviously hit me quite hard in that round. So my tank has standard 12 wounds. We use these handy little counters just to keep track, because using dice sometimes, especially if you've got an army like mine where I've got bikes, they can be quite heavy when you get into melee in terms of dice. So if you've got dice spread out, doing your wounds, it can be a bit of a pain. You can get these on Etsy for peanuts. So he's down from 12, 8 wounds, down to 4, so I'll pop that on. And the 3 that failed, obviously it's 2 damage each. Space Marines typically are 2 wounds, so 2 wounds, 2 damage, 3 are dead. Now, something that we do often is you'll find with units like my Devastator squad, 4 of them have got las cannons. The sergeant just has a pistol, then he's got a plasma pistol. So if only 1 guy died, typically I would just take the sergeant because he's pretty useless. But he's killed 3, which is a bit of a blow because these are quite good. And now Dean moves on to the rest of his shooting. So, just done a little time lapse of obviously playing through my half of the game. So obviously moved some of my troops. Now some troops like my heavy Intercessor and Gravis armor, they have a tag word that is called heavy. If you don't move them in the turn, then you get +1 to the hit. What that essentially means, because Games Workshop like to mess around with +1s and -1s, it just means that if I'm hitting on a 3 and they haven't moved, they now hit on a 2. Simple. So I didn't move them, I didn't move that tank or that tank because they also have heavy, I believe, don't correct me. Obviously managed to take out a bit of Dean's stuff. What's funny is we're playing a fake game for a video and I've actually just done better than I do whenever I actually play Dean. So that's just my luck. So going into it now, there's a couple of things we've got to mention. One of them is Oath of Moment. Now Space Marine chapters, I think most of them, you can have Oath of Moment. Now what that means is, at the start in my command phase, I pick a unit and go, that's going to be my Oath of Moment. Any attacks that go into the Oath of Moment, you can re-roll the hit rolls. So for things like my Hellblasters, where I've got a lot of hits, it hits even harder when I can roll 20 dice, and anything that fails, I can just re-roll it again. Quite handy to have. Every army has a specific thing like that. The Necrons obviously have the reanimation protocols, so in your command phase you roll a d3 and they regain that many wounds. I'm now close enough with how I've moved my bikes, and with Dean's Land Raider dying, he had to roll a dice for each one of his Space Marines, and if any dice failed, they would die. Essentially, imagine that's blown up, you've got to rush off quick before it does destroy and kill everyone. So they've come out now. My bikes are within 10 inches from the front bike to the closest Marine that he's got. Now I typically go middle of the model to the middle of the model. I think if you start going like, oh, it's on the very edge, it's, to be honest, it's taking the piss a little bit. Middle of the model to middle of the model, I think it's fair. So I'm 10 inches away. Now for the sake of movie magic, let's just say that I roll a perfect 10. What I then do, move my bikes in, and again, read on your character, well, on your army sheets. if they have anything special. So with my bikes, I do actually get, it's +1 to strength, +1 to the attacks. There's a doctrine that I put on them, which we've spoke about before, that also gives me increased damage, strength, attacks. Basically, I know that with my assault intercessors, or my jetpack intercessors, sorry, that when they charge in, they have thunderous charge, I think it's called, where basically when they charge in anything in range, I roll a dice for it, and I think it's up to 1 wound that they take. So it can be quite handy if you do get that charge in, just to do a little bit of extra damage before you start hitting. Now, the bikes have got 4 chainswords, and my chaplain has got the Crozius Arcanum. What you typically tend to do, charge in, you do your attack, so I'd resolve all of my attacks, do my chainswords, do the Crozius Arcanum, and then Dean would be allowed to fight back. Certain characters like Dante and the Sanguinor, the Blood Angels, have the fight first ability. I believe Dante has the fight first ability. Oh, Dean is shaking behind the camera that he doesn't. I am wrong. But I know the Sanguinor does. Fight first means no matter what, I fight first. If you charge into me, I fight first. If I drop on the battlefield and charge into you, I fight first. Quite handy, I don't use it too much, but charge in, you do your fighty fight. Some of his will die, some of mine will die because he has a lot more guys than me, and then the round is over. Now, these are locked in combat, and that's a thing that we will come on to, but they're locked in combat. So when it would come around to my next turn, I would have to decide if I want them to fall back, which typically with fall back, you can't charge. I don't think you can shoot either. And that is basically your whole phase, is you've ran away. It leaves me open to attack by those guys, but it means that I can now shoot it, because when you're in combat, you can't shoot it. If you imagine this is a massive melee, bodies, chainswords, everything flying everywhere, your Hellblasters wouldn't want to shoot in case they hit their guys. So we'd resolve that, and then we'd move on to turn 2.
So now that we've entered turn 2, you are now eligible to bring in your deep strike units. So you tend to do this during your movement phase. So for me, I've already pre-measured out that I'm going to be bringing in my Terminators led by Logan Grimnar. So you measure out 9 inches from the leading unit, which is the Logan's Apothecary there, 9 inches, so I know anywhere behind that dice I can drop in my units. So Logan and his 5 Wolfguard Terminators drop in here, move the dice, and then as part of your movement phase, once you have done that, you can then continue the rest of your movement phase as usual, and the game is rinse and repeat. So shooting phase, what I'd be looking for is come the charge phase, am I lucky enough to roll a 9+? No. So they would fail their charge and be shot. But for the dramatic cinematic purposes of the game, I've rolled a 10, which you all saw was 100% legitimate, and Logan and his Wolfguard and his 2 little puppies alongside Logan would then go charging helter-skelter into Dan's gorgeous looking heavy intercessors here. And then it's on to the combat phase.
So it's been quite a broad overview of how you play the game. We haven't really spoke about how to use the cards. Again, see back to our previous video on cards. We've not really spoke about like the primary objective and things. This isn't meant to be a super in-depth look at how you actually do the minutiae and the nitty-gritty of this. When you're first starting out in Warhammer, like I did with Dean, just do a kill 'em all.
Yeah.
The objectives are cool. Typically what we'd say is if you're doing a kill 'em all, if you have an objective at the end of the round, you score 5 points. Easy as that. If you're both fighting for an objective, you've got objective control and stuff like that, just no contest. So right now, looking at it, I'd go, Dean's got that one. That one's contested, that one's mine, but I'm not quite on that one there. If I deployed my intercessors, I'd be on that middle objective and be able to claim it. So I'd have 5 points, Dean would have 5 points, and then you just do it by how much you kill. You know, you can make up any rules you want. It's a game at the end of the day.
Yeah, like Dan said, we've covered it on a very broad spectrum. Best thing, and I know we've touched on it before in previous videos, is just learn what your army can do. When I first started playing and when I first got Dan into it as well, we spent a lot of time just simply going, roll dice, just roll dice, roll dice, roll dice. When you know what your army can do, the ins and outs, because GWisms and how they word things is mind-numbingly frustrating. Just learn your army, but more important than anything, like we do on every one of our games, play for fun. Play for fun, like I said. Yeah, the move I made with the Land Raider, you'll get a diehard go, yeah, I shouldn't make that move, they can't do that. It's a damn game.
Yeah.
It's at the end of the day, it's a big ass tank, it's gonna drive over a building. Boom, end of. Yeah, okay, you can't in the game if you follow the rules properly. There's the fun in that. We're here for a laugh.
There's so much to pick up in Warhammer, in the rules, what each individual unit does, because things like my Devastators, you can supercharge their weapons, which means after Hellblasters, sorry, all over the place. The Hellblasters, you can supercharge the weapons, so once you've done your rolls, you get 1 more to the strength, I believe, and 1 more to the damage. But once I've shot, I then have to roll the dice for each one, and if I fail that, then they blow up. Now, what's cool is G-Dubs did actually just recently rechange the rule back to how it used to be, whereas when they blow up, they can shoot again, but only at the thing you're aiming at. It's great. But there's different rules for everything, and things like, we haven't even touched on lethal hits, devastating wounds, twin linked, you know, there's all this stuff that is just such a sensory overload when you start this hobby. The best advice we could probably give, coming from 2 people that got back, well, you got back into it, I got into it, and we've both played with people that do take it a bit too seriously and it just ruins it, is just get on the board and just play. Just throw some dice, have some fun with it, until you get to a point where you know roughly what your army does. I still forget lethal hits all the time. I still forget Oath of Moments all the time.
We did a whole game where we didn't remember Oath of Moments.
We did. My Blood Angels army doesn't actually have any Blood Angel specific units in it, which means I get +1 to the wound roll. I forget that constantly. It is a pain in the arse.
Yeah.
But just have fun. The whole point of this video, and we apologise if it's been a bit long and a bit rambly, is just to help you get a bit of an idea. We both watch plenty of YouTubers who just like throw dice and shout at you about what's hitting, what's wounding, what damages, and you just, it is so much sometimes. We just wanted to break it down, so it's like, well, okay, you've moved, now you shoot, this is your hit, this is what you do, and just make it simple, so hopefully you can pick up a little bit of what to do.
Yeah, our hope is just, if you are new to the hobby, obviously welcome. It's just to help people, like when I was trying to teach Dan, our friend George, our friend Bill, on how to play, the most basic thing that I was finding, which was how you set up a table, how you determine who's deploying first, who's going first, how to deploy your armies. That information I was finding was very, very lacking. You watch a lot of great YouTuber content out there. Obviously, no criticism to any of them. I'm a massive fan of Tabletop Tactics. They get into the game and it's like, right, so we're doing this game on this deployment, the buildings are set out, the armies are set out, and they're straight into it, which is great when you know what it is. But objectively, from a new person standpoint, I'm looking at it going, how did you ever get to that? And this is what we were hoping this might help, is that you watch this video and go, oh, well, now I know how to set out a table, now I know how you determine who's going to deploy first, who's going to go first, just little things like that that we just want to try and help people with.
Yeah, so as always, and apologies for the delay again, how long it's taken us to come back to filming, and thank you for, we now have over 100 subscribers.
Yes, thank you all, thank you.
Thank you for watching, as always. Thank you to Shrewsbury Wars Game Society, a place that, you know, we play at and film all this stuff and spend a lot of our time.
Thank you for Mark at Timecast Miniatures, as always, for his sponsorship as well.
And if you need anything else, look at the channel. We've got quite a few videos now, but we hope to see you again soon.
Thank you.